Hello fellow creatives, let me hope we are all good and fine. Today we are going to be looking at when and why should we pay wedding vendors or service providers at the wedding. What I would say, wedding service providers or any sort of event service providers in time, or when should we pay them. Okay, so before we may think of maybe organizing any sort of function, the first thing that comes into our minds is who will cook, who will serve the food, um, who will provide the different services. Like if at all it is a wedding, remember we have to cut a cake. Who will make that cake? Who will provide the chairs, the plates? Who will provide us with the parking venue or the event venue? All of that, okay, is basically on our mind or comes into our mind. Okay, then from that we happen now to get worried of the budget. When should we pay for it? Where is the money going to be coming from? So because you may not raise that money at once for that function to come by or to facilitate that function, okay, but you can keep on raising that money in maybe in installments. Maybe you may be having your money, but then you're like, should I do it now? Because you wouldn't want to invest maybe that money into something else, because as days go by you may be having that money, but then you get another idea. You're like, let me first invest this money into something else. Then at the end of the day you get worried of failing to regain that money and put it to the function. So you're worried, like, if I stay with this money, won't I invest it into something else? So when should we do it? I happen to post the same blog on one of my websites, and I happen to realize some were suggesting 1 year, some were suggesting 1 year before the wedding, 1 year before the event. Some also were suggesting maybe a few weeks, maybe 1 week or a day. Okay, since I've been shooting functions, I usually shoot functions, so I qualify also as I qualify to be a wedding vendor because I've been shooting a lot of wedding functions. I've been shooting a lot of birthdays, graduations. Okay, but my suggestion would be, I'm going to be giving you some of my suggestions and why I suggest it like that. Just imagine you're going to be cooking food at a certain wedding. Maybe you're going to be making the cake. So you cannot do it, because I saw some people suggesting that that payment should be maybe a paying off someone, because a wedding vendor or a wedding service provider is all the same. Okay, so these are people, basically what I'm trying to mean, a wedding vendor and a wedding service provider, or any sort of event vendor or an event service provider. This is a person who provides a certain service at a function or a wedding. Say this person does videography or photography, this person is to cook, this person is to bring tents, this person is to DJ at that wedding or that function or that event. So all those are service vendors. So if you're like to organize a certain function, you're like, when should I pay these people? So one, I would say it also depends on if at all you're dealing with individuals, you're dealing with the businesses, you're dealing with the companies. Okay, so if it is legit companies that have stayed for some time, you may never know how they are operating, whether they are soon going out of business. That is the worrying thing. Excuse me, that is the worrying thing. But my suggestion would be, because I saw some people suggesting a year would be good, but it is a little bit worrying, because a company may run bankrupt, an individual may get out of business, or that business can may get out of business. So that is my idea. But at least it would be better to pay at least 2 weeks before the function. Oh, okay, if at all you're late, with the payments, at least make it a week before the payment, before the event. Because let me give you an example. There are some that you do not even have to pay. I would say that, say you are supposed to be renting a certain venue, then you come, you desire to put your function at a certain venue. You're like, let me wait till the last moment, like it is remaining one day. That is when you'll get to pay. Yes, you have the money, you may be bidding higher, but someone has already booked that venue. You get it? Then that will increase the cost of every service provider, because you may be like, I would want to organize this function a little bit nearer. Then for your delayed payment, you fail to get a venue where nearer, and you happen to get a venue that is a little bit far away. Then it means that you'll have to pay all the other service providers, compensating the distance they have to move to get to your location, or that if at that location where your event is going to be. Okay, so that means that you have to keep that in mind before you think of organizing a certain function. Look at certain things that do not even require you to delay without payment, like venues. Okay, that is why I would say that, like for hotels, if at all you are to rent an hotel for to be your venue, it means you have to pay a little bit earlier. Okay, at least make a deposit to inform them that you are basically serious. That is why you have to pay a deposit for as long as you can also pay just a month before, or 2 months or 3 months before, booking those people that I'll be making a function. You inform them and you make a deposit, so they will you even try to consult them, because those different venues have their way of working. So the same applies to the videography company or any service provider. So if at all you are dealing with the influential companies that have existed for some good time and they know what they are doing, most of the time you can't book them within one day. Okay, that maybe my function is tomorrow, then you come today, because you will require to, you may be having a certain stuff that you would want, maybe a way they should decorate your stuff, and what if they get to the market and those flowers are not there at that time, and they had to press an order, okay, over to place an order there. That is placing anyway. So just imagine that. So my idea would be that it brings me to a conclusion whereby it means that before, after getting into your mind and you're like, I want to organize maybe a wedding, then you should go and Google out some service providers. If I told you know some of them, you go and try to consult, okay, about their services. Then you see their working terms, you see their working conditions, you try to talk to them. How do they need to get paid? Okay, you can also organize, because there are some platforms that you can use to pay service providers, and if at all you don't receive that service, you can request a refund. Okay, or else at least try to pay deposits on each service provider that you want to maybe work on your event. Okay, you keep on paying some deposit to inform them and reserve that date for you. Okay, then after that, reserving that date for you, the next thing you would do is you get that remaining balance, maybe you save it. Okay, you save it, then sorry, you save it, and you wait for at least when it is remaining a week, so you clear them off and you just wait for your services to be delivered on that final day. So what is the importance of paying them in time? First of all, the first thing is it relieves you from stress. Okay, because you're this thing is cleared, this is cleared, the other is cleared, now it is you demanding. Okay, so it is like you have nothing to worry about, because like you have settled everything. Okay, then the other advantage would be is you like get enough time to like try to consult them, know what they can do and what they can't do, then improvise where you require to like have 2 teams, you have them, 3 teams, you have them. And what advantage is it to the other people that you are paying in time? The advantage is they are able to source out whatever they lack. Maybe say, maybe I'm an event house and I provide maybe DJing and music to like a wedding, so you may require speakers more than I have in my stock, so I can get out to another company and borrow. If at all I'm a videographer, I may like rent out some cameras, some lights, to see that I get your function well, I shoot it well. But if you just pay 1 day remaining, so it means that I may try even looking up to those companies that I can borrow some maybe machines, and I happen to find that most of the machines were already taken, so you leave me with no option. You get that? So that is, those are like some of the advantages. So you give the other time, you give time to the service providers you have paid to look for whatever they don't have. Okay, or to even prepare. The best way is, the best way I could say it is, you give them enough time to prepare after paying them, so they source out they source out the like the machines they don't have. Maybe they source out whatever they may have needed or they will need, to see that they get your function the best way. Okay, or they provide you with the best services they can. Okay, and besides that, the other thing I would say, if at all for you, you already have your money and you're like, maybe I would want my function to take place, say it is a wedding, this is 2023, and you're like, maybe I would want my function maybe to take place maybe in October. So we are in October already, so in October 2024. So if that is what you want, it means what you would do, you may open up a savings account maybe in a legit bank. Okay, a bank that won't disappear in a day or in a year. So you open up a bank account that is maybe fixed with interest. Okay, each month that goes around, so you save that money, then you wait when you're towards that function, maybe remaining a month, then you withdraw it again and you pay off the service providers that you want to work on your function. So that would be my idea basically about when should we pay the vendors, maybe wedding vendors or event vendors, the same thing. Okay, the same thing. The wedding vendors or any event vendors are the same as the any service providers of an event. Okay, so those were my ideas. Remember, I also shoot music videos, I shoot weddings. So if at all you're out there and you would love I to shoot your function or even shoot your wedding, maybe a music video, maybe a movie, any sort of coverage, any sort of advice in how to benefit from your music career, on how to copyright your content as a content creator, endeavor to see that you contact me with the numbers below in the description of this video. Okay, and remember to subscribe so that I continue, or I also get motivated to make more videos like these ones that help us grow as creative people or people in the content creation field. So please subscribe, and click that thumbs up or that like button, and endeavor to see that you comment. Okay, I'll be grateful. Thank you for watching all this far. You're welcome.